Over 40,000 restaurants, 300 billion burgers sold, and a brand worth more than $200 billion. This is the empire everyone thinks they know. But hidden beneath the golden arches is a story of shattered dreams. The original McDonald brothers built the fast food revolution, only to have it snatched away by a relentless outsider. How did a Depression-era gamble turn into history's most profitable betrayal? The answer begins in California, long before anyone heard the name Ray Kroc. Richard and Maurice McDonald stepped off a train in California in 1927, chasing a vision as bright as the Hollywood lights. Their pockets were nearly empty, but the brothers believed that the movies would make them rich. They took any job they could find on studio lots, moving scenery, wrangling cables, sometimes catching a glimpse of future legends on set. For nearly a decade, every paycheck went into a savings account, building a nest egg that grew to $5,000. It was enough to lease their own movie theater in Glendale, a modest building with a flickering marquee and rows of worn seats. Opening night brought a full house, but the excitement faded fast. The Great Depression hit Los Angeles hard. By the early 1930s, the McDonald Theater was fighting for survival. Ticket sales plummeted as families struggled to afford even a few hours of escape. The brothers tried everything: double features, giveaways, even free popcorn. But each week, the bills stacked higher. Letters from the period describe empty seats and nights spent arguing over how to keep the doors open. Debts mounted, and the dream that brought them west began to crumble. Richard later remembered those years as a lesson in humility and risk. "We were just two kids who thought we could beat the odds," he told a reporter decades later. "The theater almost broke us." By the late 1930s, the brothers had no choice but to sell. They walked away with little more than the clothes they wore and a burning need to regain control over their fate. The pain of failure lingered, but it also fueled a new determination. They watched as Southern California transformed, cars filling the roads, neon signs flashing outside burger shacks and drive-ins. If Hollywood had closed its doors, maybe the open road offered another shot. The brothers poured what little they had left into a new gamble: a roadside restaurant in San Bernardino. It was a bold move, driven less by hope than by the memory of what it felt like to lose everything. The lessons of the theater haunted every decision. They would keep their operations simple, their debts low, and their eyes open for any sign of trouble. But even as they scrubbed counters and greeted customers, Richard and Maurice could not forget the sting of dreams gone sour. That loss became their silent partner, shaping every risk and every ambition that followed. In the shadow of Hollywood, far from the spotlight, the McDonald brothers set out to build something they could truly call their own. In 1948, the McDonald brothers did something that left San Bernardino baffled. At the height of their restaurant's popularity, they locked the doors, shut off the grills, and disappeared for 3 months. Regulars had no idea what was happening behind those closed doors. Inside, Richard and Maurice were tearing apart everything they'd built. The menu, once a jumble of barbecue, chili, and pie, was stripped down to 9 items. Ribs, gone. Fried chicken, gone. Only hamburgers, fries, and shakes survived the purge. The real experiment began outside on their backyard tennis court. With chalk and tape, the brothers mapped out every inch of a new kitchen. They recruited their cooks not as line workers, but as living chess pieces. Each movement was timed with a stopwatch, each station marked and remarked until every step flowed in perfect sequence. Richard called it the Speedee Service System. The goal was simple but radical: a hamburger, hot and fresh, delivered in 15 seconds or less. No one in the business had ever seen anything like it. The brothers measured the angle of every spatula, the temperature of every fryer. They obsessed over the distance between the grill and the condiment station, shaving off seconds wherever they could. The kitchen became a living machine. Buns toasted here, patties flipped there, fries dropped at the exact right moment. There were no plates, no silverware, no car hops. Orders were placed at a single window, and the food arrived almost instantly, wrapped in paper and ready to go. At first, customers did not know what to make of it. They missed the car hops and the long, lazy meals in their cars. But the price, just 15 cents for a burger, and the speed won them over. Word spread, and soon lines snaked out to the street. The brothers' obsession with efficiency became their secret weapon. Competitors came from miles away, hoping to learn the trick. The McDonalds welcomed them, showing off their kitchen like proud inventors. They had no idea they were giving away the blueprint for a revolution. The Speedee Service System did not just change their restaurant. It changed the way America ate. In a world hooked on convenience, the McDonald brothers turned the act of making a hamburger into something closer to science than cooking. Their little kitchen in San Bernardino became the model for a new kind of restaurant, one that would soon catch the eye of outsiders with even bigger ambitions. Ray Kroc's story began far from the Golden Arches, with a restless teenager in Oak Park, Illinois, who dreamed of escaping the grind. At 15, he lied about his age to join the Red Cross as an ambulance driver during World War I, serving stateside alongside another ambitious kid, Walt Disney. The war ended before he saw action, but the taste of possibility never left him. Back home, Ray bounced from job to job, always chasing the next big thing. He sold paper cups for Lily Tulip, out-hustling older salesmen, but the Great Depression wiped out his commissions and left him scrambling. His marriage to Ethel Fleming grew tense as he gambled on risky schemes, each one ending with another apology and another promise to do better. By the 1940s, Ray had staked everything on a new invention: the multi-mixer, a machine that could make 5 milkshakes at once. He crisscrossed the Midwest, demoing the whirring chrome beast in diners and drive-ins, sometimes playing piano late into the night to win over skeptical owners. But the orders never came fast enough. Ray's sales logs from the era are filled with crossed-out names, unreturned calls, and mounting debt. He was in his 50s, diabetic, and missing his gallbladder, yet still driving hundreds of miles each week, hunting for a break. Then, in 1954, a single order changed everything. A tiny restaurant in San Bernardino, California, wanted not 1, but 8 multi-mixers. Ray couldn't believe it. No one needed that many milkshakes unless they were moving a mountain of burgers. He picked up the phone and booked a flight west, desperate to see what kind of operation could possibly need that much speed. For a man who had spent decades selling other people's dreams, the chance to find something bigger, something he could finally call his own, was too tempting to ignore. Ray Kroc stepped out of his car onto a dusty San Bernardino lot, expecting little more than another roadside burger stand. The neon sign flickered in the morning haze, but the parking lot was already packed. Inside, the air buzzed with the sound of orders flying and spatulas clacking. Kroc watched as a line of customers snaked out the door, each one handed a burger in seconds. No plates, no waiting, just a brown paper bag and a flash of speed. He ordered a hamburger, handed over 15 cents, and barely had time to blink before a hot, perfectly wrapped sandwich landed in his hands. The flavor was clean, the process seamless. Kroc was stunned, not just by the taste, but by the choreography behind the counter. Every move was deliberate, every step timed with machine-like precision. Richard and Maurice McDonald greeted him with easy smiles, eager to show off their creation. They walked him through the kitchen, explaining the Speedee Service System in detail. Nothing was off-limits. The brothers described how they had measured the angle of every spatula, mapped the kitchen on their tennis court, and timed each motion down to the second. Kroc listened, eyes wide, as they revealed the secrets behind their 15-second promise. He asked question after question, and the brothers answered them all, never once guarding their methods, never once suspecting the depth of his curiosity. As the lunch rush surged, Kroc watched the system run at full tilt. Burgers flew off the grill, fries hit the baskets, and shakes poured without a pause. The line never slowed. Customers left smiling, already planning their next visit. Kroc felt a rush of adrenaline. He saw not just a restaurant, but a blueprint for something far bigger. That night, he lay awake in his motel bed, replaying every detail. The brothers were content with their small empire, but Kroc saw a chain of golden arches stretching across America. For the first time in years, he was haunted by possibility. The secret was out, and Ray Kroc could not let it go. Ray Kroc wasted no time turning vision into paperwork. In 1955, he drew up the first franchise contract and launched McDonald System Inc., planting his flag in Des Plaines, Illinois. The deal seemed simple. Franchisees would follow the brothers' blueprint, and everyone would share in the profits. But buried in the fine print was a flaw that would haunt the partnership. Kroc, the man driving expansion, received just 1.4% of gross sales from each store. The McDonald brothers still held the reins, with veto power over every major decision and a written claim to a share of the royalties. Kroc's name was on the signs, but the brothers controlled the strings. It did not take long for cracks to show. Kroc's drive for efficiency clashed with the brothers' caution. In Des Plaines, he ordered a basement added to the restaurant, a move that broke city building codes and violated the franchise agreement. The extra space was meant for freezers and storage, but it also became a bargaining chip. The brothers could have shut him down on a technicality, but instead, the violation simmered in the background, a silent threat that could be called in at any time. Amid the tension, Kroc found an unlikely ally. Harry Sonneborn, once a vice president at Tasty Freeze, left a secure job for a gamble, $100 a week and a shot at something bigger. Sonneborn saw what others missed. The contracts favored caution, not growth. He and Kroc spent long nights poring over numbers, searching for a way to break free from the brothers' grip. The foundation was shaky, but the ambition was relentless. Every new franchise brought more money, more risk, and more pressure on the fragile agreement holding the empire together. Harry Sonneborn stood in front of a chalkboard, outlining a plan that would upend everything Ray Kroc thought he knew about selling hamburgers. The real money, Sonneborn argued, was not in flipping patties. It was in owning the ground beneath every restaurant. Franchise Realty Corporation became the secret engine behind McDonald's rise. Instead of just licensing the brand, the company bought or leased plots of land, then sublet them to franchisees at a premium. Each operator paid 8.5% of their sales as rent, a number that seemed manageable until it became the lever for absolute control. This system changed the balance of power overnight. If a franchisee cut corners or threatened the brand, McDonald's could simply terminate the lease and reclaim the location. The brothers' contract, once a straitjacket on Kroc's ambitions, started to unravel. Franchisee security deposits doubled as down payments, letting the company expand without risking its own capital. By 1960, McDonald's held the land under more than 200 restaurants, a reach that business historians say remains buried in corporate archives. Sonneborn's approach freed Kroc from the McDonald brothers' veto power. Now, every new store opened on terms set in Chicago, not San Bernardino. The real estate model did not just fund expansion, it made the corporation the landlord, the bank, and the judge. With each property acquired, Kroc's grip tightened, and the brothers' influence faded. The empire was no longer built on burgers. It was built on the ground itself. Ray Kroc sat across the table from Richard and Maurice McDonald, pen in hand, the air thick with unspoken threats. The brothers named their price, $2.7 million, $1 million for each brother and $1 million for the taxman. Kroc agreed, but only after months of legal warfare and backroom maneuvering. The money did not come from his own pocket. Harry Sonneborn engineered a web of loans, pledging company stock and future earnings as collateral. The deal would leave Kroc with everything: the brand, the system, the future. But as the final document slid across the table, a problem surfaced. The brothers insisted on a promise: 0.5% of gross sales, paid as royalties for life. Kroc refused to write it down. With lawyers circling, the brothers relented, accepting a handshake in place of a contract. That handshake would haunt them for the rest of their lives. No written record, no legal recourse, just a memory of what they had been told. Within hours of the closing, Kroc ordered construction crews to break ground on a new McDonald's right across the street from the brothers' original restaurant, now forced to change its name to the Big M. The message was unmistakable. The Big M did not survive the year. Kroc later said, "I am going to get those sons of bitches." Whether he said it or not, his actions left no doubt. The empire was his, and the brothers were erased. No royalties, no legacy, just the echo of a broken promise. McDonald's now feeds 1% of the world's population every day. Yet its true founders remain omitted from corporate lore. As the brand shapes diets, economies, and even childhoods across continents, its origin story is a reminder: the greatest empires are often built on the forgotten ambitions of others. What we celebrate today is inseparable from those whose names history chose to erase.